welcome to the next video in the series of how not to tank your exams. And in this video we're going to be dealing with what happens when your mind goes blank due to nerves, stress, anxiety, fear. Sadly, even with loads of revision, and of course revision is very important, we can still choke on our exams. The primary reason is because we're focused on how important the exam is and focused on getting the best grades that we mentally crack under the pressure and our mind goes blank. Of course, it doesn't help when parents and teachers are constantly reminding you of how much is riding on you getting a good grade. Thanks, Dad, for telling me how badly my life will suck if I get a less than perfect result. Now I feel so much less stressed. One of the biggest problems is pre-exam jitters. If this happens the night before the exam, it can stop you getting the much needed sleep that will help you in the exam. So, in the mother of all ironies, your worrying about your upcoming exams is making you get lower grades. Great! Now you know that, you can worry about worrying about exams as well as just worrying about exams. One way to combat pre-exam jitters is to not think about it. Yeah, that's a laugh. Ever tried not thinking about an elephant? You're thinking about elephants right now, aren't you? Seriously though, dwelling on something that is making you nervous, stressed or anxious will only make the nerves, stress, anxiety even worse. Very soon, those nerves are stopping you doing whatever it is you want to do, and soon you're not even worrying about exams, you're worrying about worrying. In the next few slides, we'll look at things you can do before the exam to minimize the exam nerves, and after that we'll look at things that can be done while in the exam if your mind goes blank. The biggest cause of exam stress is knowledge that you haven't done your revision and fear of being found out. The solution to this is simple and obvious. Stop worrying and start revising. In life, generally speaking, unfinished important tasks tend to nag at the back of our mind, causing us to feel stressed and anxious. The first and most important step in overcoming anxiety is to identify what it is you're feeling anxious about. Once you know what it is that's causing the anxiety, write it down on a piece of paper. That takes it away from your mind and onto the paper. Psychologically, you no longer have to dwell on it because it's written down. Also, you don't have to actually complete the unfinished task that's making you anxious or stressed, so long as a good plan is in place that you know you can stick to in order to finish the task prior to the deadline. Clearly, if the stress is over exam performance, the unfinished task is almost certainly revision. If you started revising early and have a plan to have all your revision completed before the exam, then you generally won't feel as anxious or stressed as a person who keeps putting off his or her revision. As with everything, practice breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds confidence, and confidence overcomes fear. So a great way to stop the exam jitters prior to the exam is to make sure you've practiced lots and lots of exam questions. If you know you've done plenty of revision and are confident about your preparedness, but still feel anxious and nervous, a useful technique in eliminating nerves is to distract yourself with some other thoughts. Find a task that forces your mind to concentrate on something other than whatever it is you're feeling anxiety about. This is particularly useful the night before the exams if exam jitters are stopping you getting to sleep. I personally have found that juggling is a very relaxing pastime. Struggling to keep the balls in the air forces my mind to focus on the balls and prevents me from dwelling on things I might feel nervous about. Any activity that distracts from whatever you're worrying about can help you though. Read a book, play a video game, watch some TV, listen to some music, whatever takes your mind off it. Although I don't recommend watching action movies or violent video games because that'll only get your adrenaline levels up, which will make it even more difficult for you to relax and go to sleep. A quick and simple reliever of stress is to focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath and hold it for the count of 5, then slowly let the air out of your lungs. Breathe normally, then take another deep breath, hold it for a count of 5, and then slowly let the air out of your lungs. Do this a few times, and this can make you feel more relaxed. Don't do it too much though, because then you can start to feel lightheaded. Everyone can always benefit from regular exercise, but medical evidence is mounting that exercise improves our state of mind. During exercise, positive endorphins are released, making us feel good, and even after exercise, there is increased improvement in mood. Doctors are even starting to prescribe exercise as a treatment for depression and anxiety. On top of this, regular exercise has been shown to improve cognitive performance even in young, healthy people, so keeping fit may well help you with your revision. In the UK, the National Institute for Clinical Excellence has recommended that we now try to walk probably about 3.5 miles a day. That's the basically 10,000 steps if you have a pedometer that you can wear. Following on from the theme of regular exercise, going for a walk is a great way to get out of a busy environment and give your mind time to hear itself think. It's best if you don't listen to music while walking and also to turn your mobile phone off. Allow yourself space to focus and organize your thoughts. People generally return from a simple walk around the block in a more relaxed and positive frame of mind than when they left the house. Another suggestion for calming down is to relax the tension out of your body with a hot bath. Again, though, this is something that also gives you time to think and clear your head, so it's important to make sure you've got no distractions in the bathroom with you. Um, for people without a bathtub, a hot shower can sometimes work just as well. Meditation is not just for the religious. It can come in many forms. Some of the beneficial effects of meditation have already been discussed because it involves focusing on your breathing and giving yourself head space, that is to say, space to hear yourself think and organize your thoughts. In the 21st century, we are bombarded with text alerts, email, and other stimulus from everywhere. A bit of peace and quiet, away from all distractions, electronic or otherwise, is a great way to relieve stress and improve mood. If you are already feeling wired, the last thing you need is a chemical stimulant like caffeine. Ditch the coffee, tea, and chocolate and switch to herbal tea, warm milk, or just water instead. All of these things can help you to relax and help relieve stress, and especially the night before the exam, these things can help you get a good night's sleep so that you're alert and awake and ready for your exam. Okay, so once you go into the exam room, there's no way you can go out for a walk or take a hot bath. So, what can you do in the exam if anxiety is causing you to get a mental block? Well, taking a few deep breaths is perfectly acceptable in an exam. A lot of people think you can't bring food or drink into the exam hall, but this is just not true. Check with your exam centre, but in general, provided you're not bringing in loud or smelly food that will distract other people, it's perfectly okay for you to have a bottle of water, although it's a good idea to remove the label so that you can't be accused of cheating, or some boiled sweets perhaps. Taking a sip of water can help with dry mouth that accompanies the fear and anxiety, as well as sucking on a sweet. The best advice, though, during the exam, if you're feeling anxious, is just to read through the entire paper, looking for easy questions that can build your confidence and get you started. Don't spend ages struggling to focus on one question if your mind has gone blank. Very often, the solution to one question can occur to us while we're focusing on an unrelated question. So if you are stuck on a question, leave it, move on, and come back to it later if you have time. If you have any tips for overcoming exam stress yourself, feel free to post a comment so other people can benefit. In the next video, I'll be looking at how tiredness affects our revision and our performance, and what can be done to improve our sleep patterns. I would like to wish you all the best with your exams and good luck with your revision.